President Biden says that he has done everything in his power to protect the United States people and secure the U.S. southern border. But is that true? Well, according to reports, Texas is being overrun, and according to experts, they are now saying that the United States could be committing suicide here. I want to address what's going on, why they're saying this, and what this means moving forward. Because it's not just Texas that's being overrun, it's also sanctuary cities and states that are now being overrun as well. And their governors and their mayors are now coming out and pressing the Biden administration for additional funding. I want to explain why this is going to impact every single one of us, whether you live in one of those states, a nearby state, or some other state, completely opposite direction. But every single one of us is going to feel the effects of what's going on right now. So I will address this in just a moment. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So in order to understand where we are going and where we're headed, we first need to understand what President Biden has been doing, what Congress has been fighting over, and what the chances of them reaching a deal actually are. But first, I want you to listen to this.
Have you done everything you can do with executive authority, or is there more you could do absent
I've done all I can do. Give me the power. I've asked for the very day I got in office. Give me the border patrol. Give me the people, the judges. Give me the people who can stop this and make it work right.
So he says, give me the power. Give me the border control. Give him the judges. Give him the people who can stop this and make it work right. That is what he said. Now, has he got anything to, has he received any of the power, the authority to make changes to the United States border? Yes. So what he just said is completely false, because he initially had all the power and he gave it away. Okay? Because the first thing he did when he came into office, he changed things for the United States border. Now I want to read you a tweet. This is from Speaker Mike Johnson. This is from yesterday. Now I want to read this to you. It says, President Biden said, I've done all I can do with executive authority to secure the border. This is simply untrue. He's either lying or misinformed. Now, here's the thing. President Biden does not have the greatest memory anymore. President Biden also does not remember what he is supposed to say, what he's supposed to read, who he's really getting instructions from sometimes. So that's a problem. Is he lying? He may have no clue what he's doing. He may have no clue, and he may just be misinformed. But again, he's the one that's talking in front of the camera, so obviously we all point the finger at him. Let's keep reading this. This is from Speaker Mike Johnson. Again, he says, here are just a few of the authorities at his disposal, if only he would use them. There's a presidential authority to restrict entry. It's 212F. There's expedited removal, 235B1. There's also discretionary detention authority, 236A. And mandatory detention, 236C. And he finishes with no more excuses. Now, here's the reason why this is a problem. Because now Democrats in certain cities and states, for one, Eagle Pass, Texas, they are now telling the Biden administration that this is too much. We cannot handle this. I want to play you a clip, okay? I want to play you this clip really quick, and just let me know your thoughts on this.
People here coming illegally. I'm all for legal migration. I don't support people coming in and crossing the river and staying here in the United States. I think those people should be sent back immediately because it's not fair for the people that do it the right way.
So this is the Texas, this is the Eagle Pass mayor, okay, Rolando Salinas. Now he is saying that this is hurting those that have done it the right way. And if you watch the video that I did this morning, I talked about how the USCIS is now increasing the fees. So if you go and you try to apply for citizenship or naturalization, right? The problem is your fee is now more expensive than it was previously. And this is what experts are now pointing at, saying that this is one of the reasons why people are entering the United States illegally, because they do not have the ability to keep paying this fee pay for attorneys and pay for all this travel to and from different field offices in order to get biometrics done, in order to do an interview and things like that. And because of that, they're going to, what they seem as a more guaranteed route is pay the less expensive option and go and get taken over the United States border. That's what they're looking at. I also want to play you another clip. Okay, just listen to this one as well. Yeah, I think it's interesting.
We need to stop it from happening the way it's happening. It's not humanly right, but at the same time, they're on their right to defend and stop it somehow. Because I mean, come on, 8 million people crossing in the last 3 years. I mean, 3 years. It's just getting out of hand.
She has 6 to 8 million people crossing into the United States in the last 3 years. It's getting out of hand. We need to stop this. This is a Democratic mayor who's asking for help, asking for assistance, saying we have to stop this. Now, here's the thing. This is why it's turning into a massive crisis, and experts say this is going to be suicide for the United States if we continue to allow, 4,000, 5,000, or 8,500 people per day into the United States because of this. They say the United States currently has a funding problem. The United States government, for example, is currently funded through March 1st. And this is good news because President Biden signed this bill a couple weeks ago. Now, here's the problem. We only have till March 1st. And then they say that we don't have the funding needed to grow and become more efficient because we are fighting over this funding bill. Okay. We also don't have the funding necessary to implement new systems and move forward with the current times. Okay. Here's where things get interesting. Experts say things will only go from bad to worse. Experts believe that in 2024, it's going to be a difficult year, but they say it's going to be difficult with tight budgets. However, 2025 will be where hits the fan, where everything falls apart. They say cities and states are dealing with tight budgets now, but in 2025, this is where things will really fall apart. They are saying that we're already seeing schools laying off teachers. We're seeing entire schools shut down. We're seeing parks are closing. Their hours are limited. Emergency services are taking a hit. I just saw earlier this week where I can't remember which city it was, but they were actually returning fire trucks that they could not afford anymore. They couldn't afford them. So they paid a deposit. They lost their deposit because they cannot go and get those fire trucks anymore because they just can't pay for them. They don't have the funding. They had to cut funding there. We are seeing from other cities that roads are being pretty much dilapidated. They're falling apart. The sides of the roads, especially after a lot of the winter rain that we received this year, a lot of the sides of the roads are just crumbling. They're going down into ditches, and the city doesn't have the ability to go and repave that road. It's just too expensive. Then from some states, they said snow removal was almost non-existent. I know in certain cities here in Washington State, normally the plows get through the city in a few days, but in some cities here in Washington State with the recent snowstorm that we had and some ice, the plows didn't get around to all the streets. And so many streets were filled with snow and slush, and it was just very difficult for people to get around and drive through it. But again, this is part of the cuts that we're seeing. And this is why experts say that just because Texas is being overrun, their border, and I told you this the other day, it's not just Texas anymore. Because of all the media attention, because of the God's army going down, or the convoy going down to Eagle Pass and to the Texas border, we're now starting to see a lot of migrants are asking to enter, but not in Texas. They want to go to New Mexico. They'll go to California. Some are going to Arizona. But again, it's not as many as what we were seeing in Texas. And so again, even though Texas is still being overrun, the cause for concern right now is what is going to happen to the rest of the United States as all eyes are on the border. Everybody's looking at the border because the border issue, the immigration crisis, is what everybody says is their number one priority when it comes to this upcoming election. Everybody wants to jump in front of it. Make sure that they have an idea. Make sure they are being heard, because for a congressman or congresswoman, their constituents are going to be looking at them and seeing, hey, what is this person doing for us? Is this person protecting us? Making sure our schools don't shut down, making sure our parks stay open, making sure our roads are free and clear and they're not all bumpy and broken. Bridges are not falling apart. Are they doing that? If they're not, well, it could be a long road for that lawmaker. So, all I can tell you right now is experts believe that this is suicide for the United States, trying to address this, because right now, Democrats, they want to go one direction. Republicans want to go the other. And the American people say, just give us an answer and protect the United States. So, we're going to see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you is it's not just Texas that's being overrun. Many states and cities are being overrun as we speak. So again, as soon as I get more information on this, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.